I remember the first time I saw Trent Walker step into the spotlight, an undefeated fighter with a mouth as big as his ego. It was at a press conference for an upcoming match, and honestly, I thought it was just another day in the life of a fighter. But then, out of nowhere, I became the target of his bravado. There I sat listening to him tear through everyone, and when he finally turned his attention to me, he said something that hit harder than a punch in the ring. You're just here because of some diversity hire. You'll be sent packing back to where you belong. In that moment, as the cameras clicked away and reporters scribbled their notes, I felt every eye on me, every snicker and side glance, reminding me of the battles I had faced as a black man in a world that so often underestimated me and my place in it. It wasn't just about being a fighter, it was about being seen. Too often people like me are made to feel like outsiders in our own arena, glancing around for validation. I had every right to rise up against that disrespect, but I knew better than to react in anger. You see, when you're viewed as a threat, reacting aggressively just adds fuel to the fire. Instead, I harnessed that rage. I threw myself into training with Coach Riley, the kind of grizzly bear of a man who never let me forget where the real fight was inside. Every day I found myself smashing the heavy bag, channeling my frustration into each punch, each kick. The doubts crept in, though, maybe from the whispers of insecurity or from those who thought my success was handed to me. But every bead of sweat was a testament to my determination to not just prove them wrong, but to prove to myself I could be more than they expected. Finally, the day of the fight arrived. MGM Grand was buzzing with over 20,000 spectators ready for a showdown. I could feel the electricity in the air. The lights gleamed, the crowd roared, but all I could focus on was Trent's bravado, no sign of fear, just an abundance of bravado. He had no idea what I'd been through. Before the bell rang, he sneered at me, trash-talking, without a second thought. "You won't last 2 rounds," he boasted, and I could see the arrogance in every move he made. But I wasn't here just to take a pounding. I was here to deliver one. As the fight kicked off, I kept my cool, watching his movements closely. I could see his patterns, how he relied on muscle over strategy. I waited, and then it happened. In a clinch, he leaned in, trying to bully me, but I wasn't having any of it. As he pushed forward, I struck back, quick, calculated, and steady. Once he flinched, I seized the opportunity, and before he realized what was happening, I had him in a submission. The look on his face was priceless as he tapped out the stunned silence of the crowd, turning into an eruption of cheers drowned out only by my heartbeat. In that moment, it wasn't just a victory for me, it was a win for everyone who'd ever felt marginalized or underestimated. I looked around the arena, and all those faces filled with excitement and energy were my people, reminded of resilience, reminded of strength. But then there was Walker, angry and defiant. He couldn't acknowledge the defeat, could only belittle my achievement. His pride bruised more than his body. "This was a fluke," he shouted, storming off, a clear sign that he didn't take the lesson to heart. Fast forward a few months later, and reality had a funny way of catching up. One night as I was leaving the gym, I ran into him and some friends in a dark, secluded area. The tension was palpable. He strutted toward me, puffing out his chest like a peacock, his entourage snickering beside him. "Remember me?" "Didn't expect to see you here," he sneered. I took a deep breath, feeling the years of fighting spirit surge through me. "What's your next line?" "Gonna tell everyone I'm just a diversity hire again." I shot back, my voice steady. That was it. I wasn't backing down. We exchanged words, and then it exploded. Circling like hawks, we clashed in that grimy alleyway. Adrenaline rushed through me, every movement like a dance. I defended myself the way Coach had taught me, countering his attacks, finding my footing. The fight went back and forth, but in the end I stood strong. With one snap decision, I managed to throw him to the ground, the empowerment flooding through me as I secured him once more. In that moment, all the frustration and challenges I had faced came crashing down around us. But reality doesn't always fade away neatly. Police showed up after a neighbor heard the commotion, and I was left explaining the situation, all while Walker stood there furious and embarrassed. And just like that, he found himself facing legal consequences of his own doing. His reputation threatened, sponsorships slipping through his fingers like sand. It was about 6 months later, when I stood in the center of that very same arena, the cheers of 20,000 fans erupting around me, once again this time, as I held the championship belt high above my head. The culmination of hard work, resilience, and belief in myself that moment meant more than victory. It was redemption. Sometimes I think about those early days, about those moments when I had to fight for respect for my identity and for my worth. What I learned is that it's not just about proving others wrong, but knowing your worth when they doubt you. For those of you out there who might feel marginalized or underestimated, I want you to hear this fight back in whatever way that means for you, whether it's on the mat, in a meeting, or simply by sharing your story. We can pave the way for a world where respect is given freely, where no one feels the burden of being judged by the color of their skin or their past. So let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Have you faced your own Trent Walker? What's your story of resilience together? Let's build a community that supports each other through every fight because everyone's journey matters.